my goodness, RJ.
What?
Again, this happened.
What?
The game we just watched. We're live, by the way,
I know.
RJ.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, I was getting the tweet out. Yes.
No, you can keep getting the tweet out. Just say we're live. That's what. No, the game just. Oh my gosh, power play was terrible, and then just the heartbreaking goal from at the end there. The response goal. So happy we're back to that. Woo.
Yep.
Kiss.
I really thought they were done with that problem. I don't know about you. I didn't have any fear in my mind. Just like no hesitation, no nervousness that they were going to let one in after tying it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think they were going to tie it, because just it's unlikely. You pull in the goalie more
Mm-hmm.
often than not, you're not going to. But once they did, I'm like, all right, we're going overtime. Let's go.
Yeah. No, me too. I thought that it was safe. It was all good. Just innocent point shot. Grubauer can't see it. Next thing you know, you've lost. You're walking away, no points. After all that work to come back at the end, all the effort that they poured into really the second half of that third period just gone. Like it was like they spent everything they had to get there, but
Yep.
just not enough sometimes. You got to see it through. Oh, agree with you, Alex. Well, we're just right back there, as Ty puts it. Hunter, game sums up our season. Dreadful power play, giving up goals right after we score. It's a shame. We should be at least a 500 team. I agree. I mean, they're kind of
Yeah.
playing around like 500 pace now for this, second half of the season. But it was an absolutely brutal game. The power play is terrible. It's been
Yeah.
terrible now for about 2 weeks, but this game especially, I just don't know what you can do to fix it. Apparently, the only thing that really works is Yanni with one-timers from that spot, but it's not even like they feed him.
No, they don't. It's just this look that we'll only see once every few games, and you can see what having a legitimate one-timer threat, what the one-timer option does for you. I mean, you saw that in one of the few power play goals they've scored over the last couple of weeks. That
Mm-hmm.
McCann one-timer on the 5-on-3. It can just be something where if the shot comes off right, it's something a goalie just can't stop, no matter how good they are. But they're just not setting that look up enough.
Right, and then the other thing to consider is, okay, you're scoring all these 5-on-5 goals, having somebody net front, getting traffic in front of the goalie, taking away their sight lines. Maybe you try that. You don't necessarily need quick passing. If you're gonna, clog up the net front in front of the goalie, you can have guys slow it down and take better shots. You can try to take advantage of the point, but if you're just gonna let the other team just do whatever they want on their PK, as the Rangers were able to in this one, we talked many times during the live commentary about the PK of the Rangers and how they were able to really kind of be reserved with three guys more towards the net, making sure they were keeping sight lines open for Shesterkin. Just ate the Kraken power play alive in this one.
Yeah, for sure. It was a different kind of look, but the Kraken didn't have much of an answer for it.
Grizza Smash, it's in the same boat as us. Thought it was going to OT. I did too. Just it seemed like it. SJ, the Rangers are my Eastern Conference team, and I love Shesterkin. So honestly, I had a lot of fun. That's what we
Yeah.
all wanted to hear right now. No, good
Thanks.
for you. At least you could get something good out of this one, because otherwise it's just heartbreak completely. And Shesterkin got to pad his stats with lots of shots that were there, apparently.
Mhm.
Another big topic of conversation for us on the live commentary. Where are these shots coming from? We're not seeing them.
I know. Just so manageable, so low quality.
Yep. Greg, we need to scrap this power play plan. It's okay when teams go into a shell, but aggressive PK teams completely flummox us. Yeah, I don't know what they're doing. We saw their little triangle play once, so that was, I guess,
Good to
something.
see
But
that return, but too little, too late.
no, and we talked about it during the game, right? They've scored only three power play goals now in forever, and two of them now have come with essentially two extra guys, because this was a 6-on-4 opportunity. The other was a 5-on-3. Like,
Yeah, on just a flat 5-on-4, they've got nothing going for a long time.
yeah, they need to do something. I don't even know that, yeah, there is a plan right now. It doesn't seem like there's a plan on the power play. We're right back again to the beginning of the season. There's no plan on this power play, and they can't score on it. What are we supposed to do? it's two steps forward, two steps back is what it feels like, really,
I like
honestly.
this comment from Striatic.
Yes, the Kraken are like
Excellent.
teenagers, need to keep learning the same lessons over and over. I agree. That's a very good comment, Striatic. Oh my gosh, power play was terrible. Yes, it was. Marky, hope so high, so briefly. Really, I mean, because you go into that overtime, and you've got all the momentum at that point.
Exactly.
And
You've just come back. You've got all the momentum. You've had a point. You have a point bank too. I mean, you're just riding high. And especially after the last game.
right. I was gonna say, and we've seen the last couple games they have a overtime plan. Like it's a
They do.
legit plan and it works.
Yeah.
Just so bad.
Just gonna get there.
Grizza smash that wasted power play near the end. Couldn't manage to enter the Rangers zone. That one was like unwatchable.
I know we were going nuts there on these zone entries. Like, what are they doing?
Like,
And they just kind of would forget the puck sometimes, or a couple 2-on-1s back the other way.
yeah, just those neutral zone passes that were just like a player would lose a puck and it would just drift away from them, and they just stop. Like, well, someone else will get it. It's like, what is that? Who plays hockey like that? Come on. Oh my gosh, they had lots of problems in the neutral zone in this one. I mean, right from the beginning of this game, it felt like it took forever to get either side going offensively because the neutral zone was just this absolute mess.
Mm-hmm.
Just a wild and crazy game. Superfly, hey guys, yet another Kraken special team letting in a goal, or let another Kraken special, letting in a goal a couple of seconds after tying the game. Overall, a copy of the first game, outshooting them but still losing. Certainly is kind of our MO.
Yep. I mean,
wish
I
it was
think when
better.
you look at the first game against the Rangers, the Kraken outshot them 32-18.
Mm-hmm. I wish this wasn't the team we kept giving to national audiences.
I know, right?
That would also be kind of nice if that wasn't the case. Oh man, reading ID brutal. Team better buy Yanni a drink after that one. I know, because we'd talked earlier in that game. He was kind of missing in action again. It's been the case the last couple of weeks. Where's Yanni? Where's Yanni? Showed up
He
huge
showed up when it mattered.
Yep, showed up when it mattered, and team couldn't back him up on it. It's just hate when that happens. Alex, the shot share was deceiving. The expected goals on all those shots was pitiful. I can imagine because they looked like we were making fun of it as the game was going on. It was like the Kraken have 25 shots, but they really only had like 2. It's ridiculous.
Checking the final expected goals share, the Kraken at 5-on-5 had
what, like 1.7 probably.
They had actually a 1.9. The Rangers had 1.7.
Oh, okay. There we go. Oh man.
1.99, so 2 essentially. Hey, look, they scored 2.
Yeah, all right. Well, they lived up to what they were supposed to do then. Good.
Yeah, although it's a 5-on-5, so
yeah.
All situations probably looks a little different.
Yeah. Certainly factor in the power plays. Lindsay, I could feel that last Rangers goal coming. I was so nervous after John did the gotta be careful with every shot. It could go in. Announcer's curse. Why would he do that?
Oh my god.
Why?
John, what are you doing?
It's like when the teams line up for, the crucial field goal. It's, oh yeah, they'll win the game or they'll send it to overtime if he makes it. It's like, why do you say that?
And by the way, he hasn't missed one in 3 years.
Yeah, he's never missed inside the 30. It's like, why?
Yeah.
Why? It's because they like to feel the power. If it happens, it's like, it's like those young refs, they get in, they just want to control the game because they've got the power. I don't know. Ugh. SJ, it's nice to see Grubauer save that breakaway from Miller. It was making some jokes in the live commentary about that being maybe his second breakaway save all year. I think personally it was his third, but
not a save he would have made earlier in the season, probably.
Not at all. And how about that blocker save? Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
what a beautiful save. See, you're getting into it now, RJ. You get it. It is fun. He played another really good game. The team is just, they cannot score. They can't score on special teams. They can't score. All year long, we've been saying, okay, if Grubauer could just turn it around, this team's right back in it. They're going to be good. Everything's fine. They'd be a playoff team if Grubauer was here. Not with this power play, not with this 5-on-5 offense, they wouldn't.
No. And this is the problem that we kind of predicted from the start of the season is like, oh, they might struggle to score goals.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's turning out to be the case as well.
Yes. Lindsay, power play was so lethargic. They've got work to do. They've got lots of work to do. They just need to figure something out for it. I don't even know what it is at this point. Other than right back to, can we decline penalties? Can we just not? We're making jokes about how all power plays were Ranger power plays because it was just so brutal. Michael, Kraken response goal. How predictable. Of all the things to bring back, why this one?
I know, that's the one you don't need to don't bring that one back.
This one's the worst one. Oh, Sergeant Pickles, right into it. 3 studs, Donato, Gordon, Dunn, mostly. Those are pretty good ones. Donato was the guy the first part of this game. That first period, Donato was everything. Gord had the huge goal, stepping up late to tie it up, and I did like Vince Dunn. Shout out to Jared McCann. Getting it done as always. His wrist shot's just incredible. So powerful and quick. That's what makes that goal happen. But, I mean, it's not a lot of bright spots in this one.
No. And I'm glad you mentioned Dunn there because it seemed like he was playing with that confidence at times that he had last game, and just he needs to keep that up because like that spin move that he did in the offensive zone. I thought he played that, what was a breakaway kind of really well where he took the penalty where Bill and I both kind of thought maybe he shouldn't have been given the penalty there. So, yeah, good game from him.
Right, and he broke up another potential breakaway opportunity earlier in the game back in the first period with his stick. Right. And he played a couple odd man rushes the right way as well. So Vince Dunn had a very, very good game. We talked about it. Did not think Borg Dunn pairing would be nearly as good as it is, but those guys have really good chemistry with each other. For
glad
whatever
to see it.
reason.
Hopefully it's a ticket for Borg being able to stay in the lineup more.
Right, and then the Lauzon Fleury pairing wasn't terrible today either.
No, it was passable. I thought it was fine, and that's all you need it to be. As a third D pair like this, that's all you need it to be is just be okay. Don't be, giving up a ton of chances.
Yeah. Lindsay, rather an exciting game like that than a blowout any day. That I can definitely get on board with.
Agreed.
Even though they give me false hope, oh well, the draft pick odds continue to go up. That they do. I mean, yes, I will 1,000% take that every day over a blowout because, as I think I've said before, best part about being a sports fan is the emotion that it can give us, at least in my opinion. And boy, getting some strong emotions from this one. But it was still a fun roller coaster ride. Few things in life can give you a fun roller coaster ride like that one. We just need the roller coasters that start and end up top,
Yeah, this is the
ones at the top.
Dangerous roller coaster there.
Yeah, this one's like most roller coasters. You start at the bottom, you go up, and then you come right back down to the bottom. Let's see.
Raised and dashed in a matter of moments.
Yes.
Hope Lash.
Yes. Joshua, fun games, draft pick odds. Green with Lindsay. Alex, the Rangers are such paper tigers too. I mean, I don't know. They're a weird team because I feel like they have. Like that first unit power play, absolutely incredible. The unit that they can put out there, unbelievable. You've got good players on defense. Missed Fox for this one, but we talked about before the game even started, Keandre Miller. Why'd we do that, RJ? Why did I do that? I won't put that one on you. That was all me. But yes, but like the depth doesn't seem like it should be there, and largely throughout this game it wasn't. Anytime they had their lower lines out there, forward lines, like they weren't capable of doing anything.
No, I mean, the depth is certainly something that's kind of lacking for them at forward. I mean, when you have a goalie like Shesterkin, you can never kind of rule them out as far as, potential to go a long way. But yeah, I think they still have some issues. Did you know, was Barclay Goodrow in the lineup? Did you notice him at all? He must not have been.
I didn't notice him at all. Granted, I wasn't particularly looking out for him. I can check right now real quick. Let's go.
Because that's one of those guys that I know they signed to really shore up that
he was.
He was.
He played almost 22 minutes tonight.
He was invisible.
He was 21. We did bring it. We mentioned 21 once on the PK. He was playing high up on the PK.
Right.
He was that one guy kind of off by himself, which, you know what? He did a good job doing that because he was enough by himself.
Yeah, fair enough. But interesting, yeah.
Yeah, he must have had a lot of special teams time to play that. much
Yep.
in this game. Greg, I won't be surprised to hear Coolman broke his arm. Yes, so that
That
one
was bad.
that looked bad. I don't know if it's a broken arm, separated shoulder, something. Obviously, uh, really really bad there, and right as we were getting Geeky back too. Like it's just
Yep.
it's this team. It's
One
never
thing after
never
another.
can
And then,
have everybody healthy.
not to mention the Yarn Croak injury before the game.
Oh my gosh, yes, I forgot about that too. Yarncroak getting
So we'll
hurt
wait to hear more
somehow.
word on that. But
Just
oh,
I don't. It's brutal. Dimitri, what can the Kraken do with and about Grubauer? Did they really think before the season he would be good? The advanced stats were not in his favor. I mean, I think they thought he'd be this. Like the goaltender we've seen the last week and a half, 2 weeks. I think that's the
yeah,
Grubauer that they thought they were getting. And to be honest, that's totally enough. You could be a
absolutely.
playoff team with this Grubauer. Again tonight, he was playing great. It's not like these goals were his fault. Like, and again, at some point, offense has to score.
Yeah, exactly. You've got to give him that goal support, and yeah, he's been fine recently. And as far as advanced stats, I mean, they still pointed to him being a top 10 NHL goalie.
Mm-hmm.
Just maybe a little overrated given what his numbers were in the team in front of him. The stat, the normal counting stats might show he's kind of top 3, top 5, like Vesna, but even the advanced stats show he's top 10.
Right. I mean, we were talking before the season started. Remember, like the whole talk was, do the Kraken have the best goalie tandem in the NHL? And a lot of that was because the advanced stats backed that up with
Yep.
him and Drieger, that they were the best goalie tandem. So, uh, just interesting. I don't know. For me, this game is all about the power play, all about the offense not being able to help anybody out because the opportunities were there. There was plenty of time
Yep.
you could have pounced on this Rangers team and you just didn't. Superfly, you're right, Lindsay. Also, what happened to Yarncroak today? Another case of the Hackstall system of rotating players for fun. Nope, some sort of upper body injury. I think you said it was before the game. Just
Yeah, it's upper body. Yeah, upper body injury.
so take that for
Um,
what you will.
I know.
Never
Yeah,
know.
you're not going to know a whole lot, yeah, about that. So we
Joshua sad about Kuhlman. If that is the case, he was just getting going and doing good. Yeah, I've loved what he's brought to this lineup. I thought
Mhm.
he's been very very valuable. Obviously, the coaching staff has fallen in love with him, and I think that's good. And he was really kind of helping shore up that fourth line.
Yep, for sure. But yeah, hopefully it's not as bad as it looked.
We'll probably, I would assume. Well, no, we're probably not going to hear anything today, realistically.
Not on Coolman, no.
No.
Maybe we'll get something on Yarn Croak, but not on Coolman.
Yeah. Sergeant Pickles, 4 duds because 3 wouldn't cut it. Power play feels like a drill where they must connect 5 passes before shooting. God, it wouldn't surprise me if they do that in practice and then they just they just muscle memory that into a game. Ugh.
Yep.
Lauzon letting his man stand between him and the paint to allow the backdoor goal. Response goals, of course, and having my phone stream drop at work just before the tying goal and coming back just after giving up the third. Oh no,
No.
Sergeant Pickles.
Oh no.
Sorry to laugh at that, but like that is unbelievable timing. Absolute unbelievable timing. I'm sure that must have been quite the surprise though, coming back into that game. All right, it's 2-1, and then what? It's 3-2. Okay, 30 seconds later. Yeah, 3 duds. Yeah, the power play. I can't say enough bad things about the power play, unfortunately. Otherwise, it was one of those where it was like, it's hard to pinpoint specifically bad performances. It was just kind of like an overall.
Yeah, and I think as far as, I mean, we talked about generating goals, generating chances, that sort of thing as being one of the big shortcomings. And it's not really a case of guys screwing things up, but it's just guys that you would like to rely on for some offense, just not providing it.
Mhm.
Where it's not necessarily a guy that you count on to step up every time, like, well, oh, he didn't score today, so that's his problem. But just like one of the like 6 or 7 of you needs to step up and do that.
Yeah. Jagar, didn't see the game today. How'd we do? Well, if you've been listening to this for any length of time, you should have a pretty
Probably
good
have an
idea.
indication. Yeah.
It was brutal. If you just check the box score and look at the timing of those last 2 goals in particular, last 2 goals overall, it kind of tells you everything you need to know. Otherwise, just power play bad. That's most of it. Hunter, we still haven't won a nationally televised game. That's what I'm saying. Like, why is this the team we keep giving to a national audience? That's
Yep.
why then when they start looking like they normally play, the national broadcasters and everybody are like, wow, the Kraken team, they're not bad or whatever, because they
Like,
just
wow,
see
what a surprise performance. Yeah,
they
but
just see our record overall and they see this team when they play nationally. Ah.
oh boy.
Uh, Daros Barra was at turned off our one TV out of the 20 in the middle of the third, so I pretend I did not see it. How could they? Well, I
What kind
guess
of bar is
I was
this?
gonna say I guess it's probably because the AFC Championship game started.
Yeah.
But again, if you
One
got
TV out of
19
20.
TVs on the
Yeah.
AFC Championship game, you could probably get one somewhere on the hockey game. Uh, but I've been there many times. I believe it. Trust me. Where they'll just
Yeah.
blanket everything with one thing. I get it.
Yeah. Growing up in the Los Angeles area, you don't know how hard it was to get hockey on a TV anywhere.
No, you'd go somewhere and you'd say what channel it was, especially back in the days of like Versus. It's like on
Mhm.
Versus. It's like, what the hell is that? Like, they don't even know what that is. And then you got to tell them what channel it's like, all right, do you got like DirecTV? Okay, it's channel, whatever. Like, you got to fill them in. It was never fun. Ty, love people in the FB group, Facebook group throwing Grubauer to the Wolves. Did we watch the same game? Must be looking at shots on goal and being experts. Yeah, I don't get hating on Grubauer in this one. As far as I'm
No,
concerned, that's the like one area you really shouldn't touch at all.
exactly. Nothing wrong with the goaltending in this game. This season, there's been a lot of reasons to do that, but certainly not after this game.
No. So I think that's just leftovers from
Yep.
before. They got into that one track mind, so now it's just, oh, they lose. All right, Grubauer's gotta go. Reading ID, I'd love to hear a longer discussion sometime on the podcast about why some team matchups have been favorable to the Kraken, Panthers and Sharks, and vice versa. I mean, I don't know that it's been like something specific system wise or anything. It's almost just like
Right.
games the Kraken decide to show up for.
That's exactly what I was gonna say, and I think it's something that we'd probably notice if it was a
Mm-hmm.
systems thing, an X's and O's thing. But I think we're in agreement that it's really just the games where the Kraken decide to play the way that we know they can play for a
Mm-hmm.
full 60 minutes, and you see how big of an impact that has. Where even this game, like for all the shortcomings offensively, like the Kraken played, a solid, structured, engaged game, especially defensively, for I want to say a full 60 minutes, but really 59 and a half minutes. And it just shows the difference that can make. So I think it's just, it's really, they only have to look within themselves.
Right, because like you think about, specifically the last two games against each of those teams. Net front presence, big part of that. Able to create
Yep.
offense that way, which is something that they've really struggled. Grubauer getting hot in general, but he's done that against everybody these last couple of weeks. He's been playing pretty
Right.
evenly. So really, it's about getting that net front presence. And I'd buy it against the Sharks maybe that it's like, okay, well, you're just able to sneak back there because the defense isn't totally up to snuff or whatever. But like the Panthers have an incredible defense. They don't just let anybody stand in front of their goalie. So
Right.
I don't know.
And then you look at the Sharks games, the back checking. Like,
Mm-hmm.
the ferocious back check. And you saw it
Yeah.
against the Panthers too, where, you're just pressuring whenever they're going on a rush, you're pressuring them from the backside as hard as you possibly can. And it's something that we've just seen really inconsistently, from the Kraken this season. But when they've been doing it, they've had success just about every time.
Right, exactly. No, it just seems like an effort show up
Throw in
kind
the
of thing.
Carolina game, throw in the Washington game.
Mhm.
They
Yeah,
can beat anyone when they're playing like that.
yeah. So it's unfortunate. Lindsay replying, Jan Krok having that upper body injury before the game. Would have been nice to have him on this one. Stratic, Grubauer wasn't great, but his performance should have been enough today. I agree with that. Alex, NHL just sent out an alert about the Miller goal. Don't dream, it's over. That's brutal. Superfly wondering what Jan Krok did before the game. He hurt himself lifting weights. I don't know.
Maybe in the pregame soccer kick around, whatever.
An upper body injury, like
Header. I don't know.
it is what it is. Sergeant Pickles, I'm getting genuinely frustrated by Lauzon again. He pinches at bad times, looks slow, especially in recovering to his own end, and has eyeballs basically lasered to the puck. Yeah, I mean, At this point, though, he is what he is, and again, I don't feel like he was their biggest problem in this one either.
No, I mean the one you can point to is I guess not tying up Lafreniere better in front, but that was just such a chaotic play off the post, and
Yeah.
it easily just could have hit Lafreniere in the chest and just bounced in, But yeah, but I will say he has been getting a little worse of late, and that's also
Yes.
been kind of the talk at the end of the homestand, kind of
Hmm.
around the press box and everything, noticing a little bit more,
That he's back to
some
his
of
old
Lausanne's
ways.
shortcomings. Yeah,
Well, maybe that's what it is. As Lausanne regresses to his old ways, the team regresses to its old ways. But again, it doesn't explain the power play. That's the weird thing. Just
yeah,
don't. I don't know.
yeah. That's not
Alex,
his problems.
no. Alex, I dislike the NHL Network only games immensely. Nobody has that network. Tell us about it.
Seriously, we were scrambling on the
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 live
live
game commentary.
commentary,
Or,
trying to find a stream that could sync up for us or just have something similar. Yeah,
yes, have some
it's a
continuity
struggle.
there. It is a real struggle. Stratic goals against Grubauer. The first two were a perfect power play one timer and a weird inside post bounce. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah,
Took several replays for us to even figure out what the hell happened on that goal, where the puck was. It was. Yeah, I don't get the Grubauer hate for this one entirely. Sergeant Pickles talking to Lindsay, forever the optimist. I envy you. All right, this is from Peter. Hockey Tactic 101 question. Why didn't Hack put in his best players to close the game? Like, get the best players out there, including best face-off person. Well, part of it is you had everybody out there for the power play and the goalie pull opportunities, so they were probably tired, for one. Like,
Yeah, and I'm looking
that'll
at who
do
was
it.
on the ice here. Yeah, for
Wasn't it Wenberg that took that draw? And he
the
had,
Miller goal.
yeah, and he was brutal in the face-off circle tonight. It
Yeah,
was
it was
not
Wenberg
good.
who took that draw. That's rough. I believe. I mean, you had Sheehan out there also because he was the one getting interfered with.
Right.
And Sheehan's a good one to have out there. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
defensively, it doesn't come a lot better. Adam Larson on defense. You had Donskoy there, and he's good defensively.
Right. But these are
Um,
all guys that were not being heavily used previously as you were trying to get that tying goal. Because
but yes, yeah,
you flooded for those like 2 minutes of that power play, and having the goalie pulled, they had just flooded all their top skill guys out there for that one.
yeah.
So
So they're
that's really why it is, because you
gonna
did.
have to have their second unit.
Yeah, you need fresh legs in a situation like that. It's just unfortunate that that didn't help them either, I guess.
But that's a good question.
It is a good question, Peter. I like that one a lot. Hunter, still have the third pick as of now with plenty of room because of Ottawa. Still have 10.9% at Shane Wright, most likely. At the top of the draft.
Hmm.
Yeah, I thought we were headed in the right direction. Well, depending on who you are, headed in the right direction. Lindsay would say it was the wrong direction, but thought we were getting good. But yeah, it's just rough. Goudreau had the last clear of the last play. I did notice. It's from Reading ID. I mean, he clearly did something. He was out there as much as a defenseman, basically, like a lot. First line guy, I guess. The future is bright. This is from Lindsay. We just got to be patient. This team has so much potential. They just need to stay healthy and get a few more star players like Beniers in. I agree with that. Totally. I think just having a couple extra guys like Beniers that you can trust a little bit more offensively, certainly on the power play to make some things happen. Some guys that can generate offense a la Jared McCann. Beyond just, oh, I was in the right spot and my teammate got it to me. Because it feels like that's a lot of what the Kraken do to generate offense right now.
Yeah, it definitely does seem like that. They just need more varied forms of attack, more guys stepping up.
You need dynamic playmakers. Like it's like an age old thing, You just need good players. Imagine that. Would be curious to see where the Kraken rank in the league with total player games missed due to COVID and injury. It feels high. It's from Sergeant Pickles. I would agree. It has seemed high. I haven't been covering it closely for anybody else.
I saw that comment ahead in chat a little.
Cool.
So I was looking down at my phone trying to see this.
I mean, I gotta think the teams that had like their whole roster wiped out due to COVID. Granted, they got their games postponed, but Calgary would have been up there for sure. 17 guys out.
This is NHL injury viz. This was just the first one I was able to get at. As far as man games lost to injury, the Kraken they have 149, which ranks pretty middle of the road in the league. I think just middle lower. And then when you do it like cap hit of players lost due to injury, because that also kind of takes
Yeah.
skill or should take skill into account. They are kind of around the bottom third, around the like third 33rd percentile or so, with about 5.06 million. So not significantly more than other teams, probably around the middle.
Yeah. It's just is what it is. Stratic, Chiefs offense destroying the Bengals defense. Sorry, Dylan. Yeah, I mean, we knew. We talked about it several times, right? The only way the Bengals had a chance is if they could keep pace offensively. No way they were going to stop Mahomes. I thought they could. They just scored a TD. We'll see what they can do in the second half. But yeah, right now it is what it is. Like I said, put Jamar Chase on defense. Let him cover Tyreek Hill. It's the only guy fast enough to do it. Joshua, Sergeant Pickles saw a tweet about that earlier today. They're about middle of the pack. Okay, well, there you go. Joshua beat us to it.
Could have just looked at, yeah.
Sorry, Joshua. Sorry. Rock Todd, I don't have a lot of confidence in Ron as a trader at the deadline, given his lack of aggressiveness for expansion draft. Totally understand where you're coming from. Oh, go for it.
Yes. I think we will learn a lot. Mm-hmm. I think we will learn a lot about what kind of value he's able to get out of players.
Right. And make sure to tune in to the deep dive tomorrow, where we're going to be looking back at Ron Francis's time as GM in Carolina. Maybe that'll give us some clues. Scott, Dad, losing builds character and is often the birthplace of a champion. Me. Shut up, Dad. I mean, it's one of those. I feel like that's what all the developmental stages are before you get to the pros. Mm-hmm. Do losing there, build character, and then win as a pro. That should really be how it is. But yes, I mean it is hard to accept, even if it's good for you. Like as Lindsay would point out, right? Losing, higher draft pick, all that stuff. But it's still hard. Joshua, a bunch of people saying there should have been an interference call on the Rangers on Sheahan. Thoughts?
I think so. After watching the replay again, I mean, yeah, Kreider kind of stepped right in the middle. That kind of play is usually called interference. I think at that point in the game they didn't want to.
I was going to say, is it usually called with 30 seconds left in a game?
No. But if it's the middle of the second period, I think that gets called every time.
Yes. I agree with that. And, the replay, like, I didn't notice it real time. The replay, obviously, it's obvious because you're just like zoomed in. Look at this interference that wasn't called. So I could see that, but yes, no way they were gonna do it there in that situation. Reading ID, appreciate your thoughts on team matchups. Maybe at the end of the season, something to revisit with a larger sample size. I agree. I mean, there's certain things we've seen the Kraken struggle with. They struggled against the Rangers PK today. The way the Rangers were able to keep three guys back, just have Barclay Goodrow or whoever up front pressure the point, make sure that they had to keep the puck moving. Because it's not even like, okay, you got to get in the passing lanes or you're trying to disrupt anything and go on a breakaway. That guy's whole job is just to pressure enough that they're keeping the puck moving between the three furthest people away from the goal. You know what I mean? And they were able to do that. And then the rest of them could just focus on making sure that their goalie has a sight line, that nobody's, getting in front of the net. Because if you look at all the most dangerous power play units through all of time, it's the ones that have strong net front presences that are the ones that are, 20, 25%, whatever it may be up there. And so like that was an instance of matchup because the Kraken had no ability to counter that.
Yeah. I mean, the Rangers, basically you hold them off with aggressiveness up top and then you win with numbers down low. It's a good tactic.
Mm-hmm. So anything like that is a matchup thing. Kraken just have to figure it out. Mm-hmm. Geo Show. The team only showing up for some games sounds like something that happens with an inconsistency or deficiency in leadership and or culture. It's something you and I brought up several times throughout the year. It's hard to know for sure. We're not in the room, right? RJ's got a lot of access, doesn't have access to that. So it's hard to say for sure, but from the outside looking in, they've kind of left us with that being the only thing left to think that it could be.
Yep. At a certain point, if this keeps happening, you've got to look in that area.
Yeah, we've seen the coaching staff make adjustments, so it's Alex, sink for Shane, like it. Just keep them coming. Lindsay, hey, I still love it and cheer when they win. If a tiny voice in the back of my head says it hurts the draft lottery odds, lol. I know, I'm just giving you a hard time, Lindsay. It's fine. I'll stop, especially because you congratulate on that Bengals touchdown. Thank you. Appreciate it, especially against your Chiefs. Like it. Might be the only one we get today, so I'll take it. uh, Alex, who's at the top there? Let's see. Don't know what you're referencing there, Alex.
For Shane.
I guess in that case it's Montreal, I believe.
Yes, it is.
Yep, there we go.
Montreal.
All right, Striatic. I was looking at the 2017 draft combine results, and Morgan Geeky, Cale Fleury, and Cole Lind were all top 10 in right-hand grip strength. Did Ron Francis pick this team based on firmness of handshake? I could see that being the case.
That would track so well.
It would track so well.
What?
I don't know why. This just seems so... Oh, man.
What an observation, Striatic. Okay. We need to look into this.
Okay, so now we got to go back, though, through all the draft classes of Carolina and see if this was a consistent thing. Like, Ron Francis is the only guy who got that paperwork or who ever paid attention to right-hand grip strength in the combine. I don't know that we're going to be able to pull up anything on that while we're doing this post game, but
no, we're not going to be able to do that quick enough. But I mean, we're going to be recording the podcast soon. I know you.
So funny.
Okay, we need to look into this. Wow. Okay.
Oh man.
Thank you so much, Striatic. Wow. We're going to have fun looking into this, whatever we find.
And it sounds like Striatic makes me want to dive into the grip strength combine results and figure out which team has the strongest collective handshake. You do that. We'll look into it as it relates to Ron Francis specifically. You do that and come back to us, later on this week. Striatic.
Revolutionary advanced stats. This is going to get us hired as analytics people for a team.
For sure. Striatic, you're on to something here. I really think so. Alex was referring to the man games lost as far as who's at the top of the list.
Oh, okay. Top of the list for man games lost. I can go back and find that. Dylan, you hold it down.
Yeah, I'll move on to Sergeant Pickle's next comment here. We always mention Shane Wright and Matty B to be scoring centers, but which positions are actually of greatest need? Right now, you need offense anywhere you can get it right now. The defense has stepped up most of the guys. Certainly, we can get on Lauzon right now, but you're missing guys like Jamie Alexiak. It's a big guy to be missing, and Carson Soucy. So I don't care if they're scoring centers, scoring wingers, anything. Just be somebody who can generate some offense. Be somebody who can move around in the offensive zone. Be somebody who's willing to take a shot on the power play.
Yep. Okay, for man games lost, actually the answer was the same. It's Montreal.
All right. Well,
297 man games lost.
Halfway through a season. That's a lot. Yeah. I guess that explains some things. All right. Sergeant Pickles, also an idea for Dylan when approaching the draft. Based on the Kraken's actual draft pick, show what value and picks you would give to move up to take each guy. Interesting. Yeah, I can do that. I think I could do that. It'd be interesting because it might be a different answer for the Kraken versus a team that would have like a normal pool of draft prospects.
Right,
it's like the Kraken
can much less afford to part with surplus picks to move up.
Yeah, and depending on where they are, like if they've got a top 5 pick, I don't know that much would be worth moving up for Wright in a situation like that. But we will have to wait and see. Tyler just got off work and joined. Tough loss. We give up too many goals right after we score. Devastating. There is no better word than devastating for when that happens. Sergeant Pickles, do we have a shortage of right-handers? I noticed it a few games ago when lefties would have to make an extra move before shooting, and now I can't unsee it.
I think that's a league-wide thing.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Certainly at forward.
Mm-hmm.
Like right-handed forwards are especially coveted because there are fewer of them, especially ones that can score.
Yeah.
And I think if you look into the advanced stats and everything, you look at right-handers in a lot of metrics actually just outperform right-handed forwards, outperform left-handed forwards in pretty much every scoring metric. Maybe that's, because they're on the goalie's glove side shooting directly. I don't know. But that's something else to look at as well.
Yeah. So I think you're probably right as in relation to us, Sergeant Pickles, but yes, it's a league-wide problem. Centers can always be moved to wing. That's from Alex. Agreed. Yeah, like I said, just get the best forwards in there, and then you can figure it out. But if you've got people who can score goals, that's all that matters. Let's see. Michael, lots of Shane Wright talk, but honestly, I'd rather win the lottery next year if we miss the playoffs and take Connor Bedard.
I do think Bedard is a superior prospect, but of course that requires next season missing the playoffs.
Yes, it would be brutal. It would be brutal to go through 2 years of this, but yes, he's significantly better than Shane Wright, I think. Reading ID. Okay, there you go. Suzuki, the only player to play every Habs game this year at this point.
I mean, talk about the injuries.
You gotta have more than one guy who can do that.
Yeah.
I mean, at least it's him. That's something for you. It's not like, you know, our fifth defenseman, the Iron Man. Ty, Dunn is playing the best I've noticed all year. Also, seen a handful of positives out of Fleury. I'd like to see the younger borderline players growing and making an impact. I agree, Ty. I think Fleury, since he's come back into the lineup, since the free Fleury thing, been looking pretty good.
Yeah, agreed. And I think he's one of those guys. And I think, you know, Hackstall kind of gave a good answer about it, you know, at the end of the last homestand where he said, you know, when you have a guy who's out of the lineup like that, basically every day you're coming into practice, you're coming into morning skate, and you can you make a choice, right?
Mm-hmm.
Am I going to get better today? Am I going to put in the work to get better and try and get back in the lineup? Or am I going to just kind of, you know, go along with the motions and just be here? And he said every day Hayden Fleury was, you know, making that choice to get better and to improve on things. And I think you're seeing the result of it now.
Yeah, no, it's the exact right attitude to have. Really, really happy for him. Joshua, Kraken not moving up in draft due to small prospect pool, but what about moving down to get more picks? That is something that would be interesting for them in this one. It'll depend. I like the kind of depth towards the top of this draft. Like, no, there's no one person that blows you away, but I do feel like there's, you know, 6, maybe even 7 guys that are going to be really good players. So it would be interesting if the Kraken do kind of go 500 the rest of the way and kind of play themselves into second half of the top 10. You know, I could see moving down maybe being a thing for them, or weaponize that pick in a trade. Right? Somebody's disappointed somewhere, or somebody's, you know, looking for a contract extension somewhere, and their current team isn't going to be able to afford that. You can because you've got that cap space. You can make some sort of trade there. I think there's a lot of options that move up there, but I wouldn't mind trading down in certain situations either.
Yeah, agreed.
Sergeant Pickles, I'm right-handed and shoot right-handed, but didn't realize that was less common. Yeah, I mean, you and I are both kind of ambidextrous to an extent. You more so than me, because you can at least write left-handed. I can't do that. But I guess you're lefty dominant, right? You consider yourself?
Oh, me? Yeah, like because yeah, I guess lefty dominant. I write with my left hand, but I do so many other things with my right.
Right, that's what I say. Like, we're both pretty ambidextrous in ways. Certainly when it comes to sports.
I can throw things with both, you know.
Yeah. And like baseball, I throw righty, but I bat lefty, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I just think it's one of those weird things. I don't know what the deal is with it, but I know a lot of people that are right-handed, but they play hockey lefty. Just something about, I think it's the control. You just feel like you have
American versus Canadian. Yeah.
Alex St. Bernard will save us. Let's see. Michael, huge goal line stop by the Bengals at the half. Still have a chance. I agree. That was huge, and hopefully they can get some momentum coming out, because I think the Chiefs start with the ball in the second half. Yeah. Lindsay, we're not going to miss the playoffs next year. Manifesting it. There we go. I agree.
I agree. I think
there's no way. We're not going to have a 40-game stretch of terrible, you know, historically bad goaltending to start next year. Like, the odds of that are astronomical. Let's see. Sergeant Pickles, going back a bit, I audibly said holy when Shesterkin made that save on Fleury. Yeah, it was. He had some good saves in this one too. I just I didn't feel like it.
He could see the shot all the way.
He could see it, and I just think he wasn't the dominant presence he was in that first game against the Rangers that the Kraken played.
And it's because he wasn't tested in a similar way.
It's true. He might have easily stood up to it. Alex, I can't believe other teams let Carolina just accumulate picks like that at the last draft.
They just spam moving down.
They really did.
Yeah, I mean, that's the smart thing to do if you can.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we've
Yeah,
seen in a lot of sports. In football, the Patriots have taken advantage of that for years.
right. If you're a
Uh,
good kind of consistent playoff team,
mhm.
you can do that.
Because
Because
once you get past a certain point, second, third round, essentially they're kind of like dartboard shots. They're lottery tickets, right? And you want as many of those as you can get.
right, exactly. And you're not certainly in a sport like hockey. Okay, I'm picking 20th. That guy's not seeing the NHL for at least 2 years anyway, most likely. So you can even move down up there out of the first round at times.
Yeah.
The
If you can get
value there,
33 and 45,
right?
you've got two players now.
That are
Yeah,
a couple
that are
years
similar.
away. Yeah. So I like that as well. Ty, yeah, a handful of Hashik like saves today. Saw a couple from around. Obviously, he was a big talking point through the live commentary too. Sergeant Pickles, I need a T-shirt with an RJ head on an octopus body, with his ambi octo arm throwing powers. There we go.
Yeah.
That's what we need.
Oh, what a shirt that would be.
I know. I'm trying to think. Like, are you which? Because you're kind of more like you've got the larger arm on one side, but the more accurate arm on the other. I don't remember
Yes.
which one it is.
I'll leave that a mystery, a surprise when I'm facing you and whatever. But no, I've got the accuracy on the left and the
Yeah.
and the power on the right.
Yeah. So
I guess it
given
makes sense. If I write with my left hand, it's the
yeah the
So
Lindsay, yep, Chiefs won the coin toss and deferred, so they get the ball to start third. Sorry to the Bills fans that got flashbacks when I typed Chiefs won the coin toss.
brutal.
Absolutely brutal. We definitely don't need a repeat of that today. Although right now maybe I'd take them.
I mean, you might
the
take
game,
it at this
maybe.
point.
Yeah. Stratic, I really hope the Kraken have the coaches and development system to turn later round picks into something. It can be as important as volume of late picks. I 1000% agree with that, Stratic. And yes, it's going to be interesting to see. So far, liking what the Kraken have been doing. Took Beniers, that some people question that. Obviously turned out to be the right choice. Riker Evans has looked fantastic. So I think that there is potential there for the Kraken to be a good team at this.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, and development is such an underrated aspect as far as you talk about drafting, but it's really drafting and development in tandem.
Mm-hmm. And then Geo Show asking, is there a number of affiliated players we need to meet for the AHL team next year? Well, I mean, they're going to need 20.
Yeah, I mean, you need enough
guys.
You don't need okay. You need enough to fill out a roster. Obviously
Yes.
at the AHL level, not all of them need to be affiliated with the team. So how that works is you have the team affiliated guys that are down there, and pretty much every AHL team will also sign guys to just AHL level contracts,
Right.
that are not affiliated with the team, but they're there to fill out the rest of the roster, and so they'll be their teammates.
Yes. If we make a trade with Florida, the AHL players won't even need to change jerseys. For now.
Yeah, for now.
Yes, that would be
Interesting, though.
that would be interesting. be kind of fun, actually.
Yeah.
Anytime you could get something like that going. All right, so we're at the 50-minute mark. Do a quick last call for any more questions. Otherwise, it was a heartbreaking, devastating loss, whatever you want to call it. It was bad.
Yeah, it's just to have another one of those and building momentum too after that Pittsburgh game. Everything felt like it's finally turning in the right direction. I think we all could have handled an overtime loss.
Yes.
I think that would have been fine. It would have felt like a victory.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely some things that still need to be addressed.
Yeah, power play first and foremost.
Yes.
It's just,
yeah.
as far as I'm concerned, everything stops there.
What's the next game? Is it Boston?
Yeah, it's Tuesday, and then it turns into a back-to-back with the Islanders.
Turn it with the Islanders.
Now. Yeah, Boston on Tuesday, 4 p.m. Pacific time.
Yep.
And then against the Islanders on Wednesday should be an interesting one there. All right. Oh, go for it.
No, I was saying, and then All-Star break.
Yep, should be fun. Lindsay, all right. Happy Sunday, all. See you at the next one because Bruins on Tuesday. Will do. Thanks everybody for joining us on a Sunday midday, especially after a game like that. I totally could understand people passing. So thanks for being here with us as always. Really appreciate it.
Yep, and go Bengals.
Yes, go Bengals. Let's go. Bad final result, but a great time with the live commentary and post game. Thanks for everything, guys. Hey, thank you, Joshua, for supporting us and everything. It means a lot to us, and it makes it so much fun for us too.
Yep,
It really
absolutely.
does. So much revenge this week from reading ID. Yes, yes, there is.
Yep.
All right, see y'all on Tuesday.